Genshin Impact news for a while now, and I just wanted to do a bit of a reaction to this whole debate because honestly, it's been a while and we've had so much going on. I just recently heard about the Paimon VA situation, and I'm thinking that's what this video is, but we will find out together. Let me just go ahead and start up the video. I think that'll be great. Let's go.
Welcome back, guys. Thank you for tuning in. So, mid-recording of this video, Kaylee Mills made an official response to her getting recast as Keqing in Genshin. If you want to skip right to that part, I will have the timestamp right over there for you.
Wait a minute, Kaylee Mills got oh my goodness. Kaylee Mills got replaced. Wow. Huh. Well, you know, I mean, eventually these activities of these voice actors was going to catch up to them. I mean, it's just the way that things are, you know. You got a company wanting to make $1 and you can't have that happen and also have this situation of VAs wanting to co-opt your game for a social agenda maybe, you know. I don't know. I think it's yeah 14 seconds into the video, SamaKaze's already yapping. Yeah. Let's get to it.
But yeah, I mean, the rest of the video hopefully is entertaining too. So if you want to watch how it unfolds in real time, by all means, feel free to do that. But I figured I would give you the timestamp if you wanted it. And now here is the rest of the video as originally recorded. Because we talked about how Paimon and Keqing's VAs, that being Karina Boker and Kaylee Mills, had seemingly been recast, and the evidence was like beyond compelling, right? But now we have the official confirmation here in the patch notes. We can see it says, after version 5.7 is updated, Keqing and Paimon's English VAs will be updated. This change only applies to new content in version 5.7. Historical content will be gradually updated in subsequent versions.
Yes! Finally! I can play through some of the main story quests and not have Paimon's voice absolutely great on my absolute last nerve. Hey, Green Alien, good to see you. I am glad you're here on YouTube. I am just doing a bit of a reaction style stream to start, and then once we get done with a couple of videos of that, then I'll transition into gaming. Basically, I'm following the same kind of format as what people like us, Savvy Senpai, do, you know. Try and do multiple things in one stream. That way you got content for later. Anyway, let's continue on.
So that also answers a question that people had, of course, about, well, are the prior lines also going to be redubbed? And yeah, I guess gradually they will be. Of course, yep. I was then wondering if Karina had anything else to say about this information. She did about 2 weeks ago.
Oh, good
Lord.
Of course
she did. Voice channel that
of course she did.
Was getting recast. Her story, once again, was that she sent notice to Hoyoverse shortly after John Patnode got replaced as Kenichi by Jacob Takanashi, saying that she wouldn't work anymore without the union agreement being signed, interim agreement being signed. Common speculation is that she actually got terminated. And you know what? Kaylee Mills being recast as well seems like one could argue that Kaylee Mills getting recast adds further merit to the speculation that Karina also got terminated and didn't willingly step away. But we'll talk more about that in a second. The point I'm getting at here is that I'm on Karina's Blue Sky account, curious to see if she had any further statements to make on all this stuff or anything to say about it at all. But instead, I met with Karina, once again reposting days. This is someone we've talked to.
Oh, good Lord. This person right here, I'm sorry, but the fact that they really had this kind of like condescending viewpoint and even this condescending, I mean, I don't know how you get a condescending voice tone in text, but if you can do that, this person has managed to do that. I mean, like, that's actually the purpose of far-right YouTube grifters, you know. Oh my goodness, it's like, what in the world is going on? I am
about a few times in the past because Karina has reposted other takes from days that are completely unhinged and out of touch. But Karina,
I just want to say, I know I know 2 minutes in, I'm already pausing like every 2 seconds. I just want to say the way that Hirohei says unhinged or any unword as on whatever, it's so hilarious. I love it every time.
He just seems to really like these takes, seems to agree with them. Seems to think Days is constantly cooking. So we got Days responding to Parmain of Doom too. Look at that. The gang is all here. Well, not entirely.
Oh,
but
Lord.
Parmain of Doom, it said, the sad thing is, I've seen quite a number of Hoyoverse fans going hardcore into fascism lately.
Oh, my goodness.
Oh my gosh.
Fascism?
Yeah,
What the?
Days is like, that's actually the purpose of far-right YouTube grifters getting involved in this drama. I'm like instantly already in disbelief that these people make such terrible
I know,
takes.
right?
Like, we're not even done yet.
I don't know how they do these.
Figure speech.
What I can't figure out is how they make these horrible takes and still gain employment, still earn money. Because I'll tell you what, if I made this kind of post on my main Twitter account or whatever, my main X account, whatever you call it, I would probably be hated into oblivion, driven off the internet, and even hunted in real life to discredit me as a real person, because Lord knows some of these takes are just awful. They're just awful.
I can't believe it because these people routinely post crazy things. Let's continue.
Yeah, no, right.
It starts with concerns over mean voice actors. It turns into
Mean
goal
voice
fans
actors.
tuning
Oh my
into these
goodness.
content creators broadly, and their broader goal is just fascism. What the frick, bro? Or whatever stupid bigotry gets them more clicks. This is such a
I
crazy
know, right?
thing to say. This is what happens when you spend all day, every day on Blue Sky just reading political slot posts nonstop. I'm just so mad at the Hoyoverse community. And the far right,
Oh my gosh. Oh my. Actually, oh my gosh. What the? Look at Poindexter here.
YouTube grifters. The Hoyoverse fans are becoming fascists, and the far-right YouTube grifters who talk about SAG-AFTRA, they're just a bunch of liars. They're a bunch of far-right grifters who are just trying to make a bunch of Nazis. These people are all Nazis. Karina then reposted another take by Days, this one saying, it really sucks all the discourse over the SAG-AFTRA strike was taken over by Hoyo fans. Because the world doesn't revolve around Hoyo.
What?
It's bigger than just one company. It's about voice acting for video games as a whole. Voice actors work in more than just a few gacha games. Once again, these people seem to be living in some kind of like alternate reality or something, because throughout this entire situation, I've seen fans talking about the distinction between the official video game strike and the collective work refusal. This has been an important point of contention because some of the VAs a part of the collective work refusal claim that SAG is not involved at all. But as we saw on Twitter, the official account for SAG was trying to forward an agreement to Hoyoverse and get them to sign said agreement. So throughout all of this, it's been an important distinction that the people criticizing the VAs and the union.
The thing is, they may not be officially part of the SAG-AFTRA strike, and now that the strike's over, they use that as justification to keep their collective work refusal going. But the thing is, you know, the fact that they're not part of the strike at all means that they didn't have any legitimate reason to be quitting or stopping their work. Honestly, it's horrible. It's horrible. Yeah. What do you mean? What you bet? What that guy is saying must be crazy. Is are you getting the audio on the stream? Are you getting the audio? If you're not, I can see if I can fix that. Let me just
have been making between the official strike and the collective work refusal.
My goodness.
But Days over here and Karina over here are really going to try and act like that distinction's never happened.
There we go.
And that everyone's just making it about Hoyoverse. Again, showing that these people are just massively out of touch. That takes...
Yeah, another thing. I want to point this out. The fact that Karina has this as her darn profile photo, I have no idea what this character is. I don't really give a darn. But the fact that it's this just reinforces her in my mind as a cartoon character. She's not even a real person. She's a caricature of what all the left-wing grifter kind of, oh, look at me, I'm so much part of the LGB whatever ooh community, you know. And it's cringe. It's just cringe. It's awful. And I'll tell you what, I do not like the way that the world has been going in the last few years, where if you have a disagreement with someone that has a really horrible take like this, or like anything, like you're basically hated into oblivion just for saying something that's actually halfway logical. You know, I talk to people all the time. I'm a Christian, so I don't feed into the LGBT agenda, the especially not the T. I don't think trans people really are trans. I just think they're deceived, but that's just my particular viewpoint. The enemy uses deception for a lot of things, including leading us down roads that we really shouldn't be traveling. So there's that. But I really think that there's a whole lot of trouble with this kind of um just it's horrible. It's horrible. Anyway,
And that everyone's just making it about Hoyoverse. Again, showing that these people are just massively out of touch. That takes us over to this post from our Genshin Impact. With both Paimon and the Trailblazer being replaced in the latest version, it seems like no one is in the safe zone anymore. They'll be let go if they keep refusing to work.
exactly, and I agree that that's probably the action they should take. That is so stupid. People have really forgotten to just be able to disagree on things. Yeah, I agree. You know, it used to be that we were able to disagree in a yeah, a civil way that didn't yell at people, didn't demean people, didn't disrespect people, and yet was still able to get our point across. And now we've gotten to a point to where if you hate or if you don't agree with everything I say, then you obviously hate everything I say. It's like and retweet if you love waffles. I like pancakes. Oh, so you hate waffles then? It's like, no, that's a completely different sentence. That's a completely new sentence. I'm still on the old sentence. Just, I don't know. Yeah, I don't get people anymore. I don't. I don't understand people.
Which many of the collective work refusal VAs seem to be saying that they will continue. But let's take a look at this top comment here. It says, Paimon getting replaced will definitely make other VAs think long and hard before acting out now. If a character with so many lines can get replaced, anyone can.
You know, that's the logical idea. That's the logical kind of expectation that, okay, we have a VA that's got lines in every single patch that got replaced. So now we should probably tone down the rhetoric so that we don't get replaced too. The problem is these people are nuts. I'm sorry. These people are nuts. They're not going to just say, okay, because Paimon got replaced, now we got to be more careful or else. Instead, they instead they think, oh, well, all we got to do is push harder because, you know, if all of their VAs go away, then they have to change things. No, because all their VAs had gone away and they still went forward with things just without you. So, you know, and really, they all just shot themselves in the foot by letting Karina talk. I'm sorry, but Karina and how she's really shot the entire collective work refusal in the foot has been horrible, because if she'd have just kept her mouth shut and just let the thing go on, they might have actually gotten something that they wanted instead of getting nothing. And that just kind of, so Paimon's VA basically got fired and replaced in the newest patch because she refused to continue working because they weren't giving them what they wanted, which was basically signing on to the SAG-AFTRA union and allowing the project to go full union, which would have obviously benefited them in some way. The problem with that is Japanese companies are not allowed to sign contracts with non-Japanese unions per Japanese law. So that was never going to happen. Oh, wait, no, not Japanese, Chinese. Sorry, Chinese law. Sorry, Chinese company, Japanese company. Sometimes I don't know which is which. But so we're seeing that this is just a FAFO moment, a mess around, find out kind of deal. And we're finding out that Karina has been fired, and
Paimon publicly executed as an example for the rest. That is
Lord.
a hilarious way to word it. More like appropriate. Well,
I don't know about appropriate. I shy away from words like that, let's not tone the rhetoric up any higher than it already is. You know.
Again, remember that she's trying to claim that she willingly stepped down, though, so depends how many
Yeah,
VAs
yeah.
believe Karina's statement and how many think she actually did get replaced.
Well, the thing is, the fact that she found out, or that she made that comment like 2 months ago or whatever, just or even 2 weeks ago. I don't know. I don't know. I don't follow her on Blue Sky. I don't care to be on Blue Sky, honestly. But the fact that she made those comments a few weeks ago, and now we're getting the announcement that the VA's been replaced, I bet she knew for a while, or she didn't know, but she suspected that that was going to happen. But she continued to play up the fact that she, at least to that point, was still billed as Paimon to allow her to gain some more clout. Because, of course, people like this who are self centered, egotistical, stuff like that, they have a high on having clout. You know, it's kind of like an addiction. You know, I talk a lot about addiction on my channel. If you know me, you know that I've been through 9 years of hell in addiction, and then I'm coming up on 4 years of sobriety from alcohol and drugs. So you'll see that there are a lot of different kind of similarities between just chasing the next hit and chasing the next viral tweet that gets you attention. Because at the end of the day, they're just attention oriented addicts rather than substance oriented addicts, you know? Anyway, going on.
I would say potentially Kaylee Mills getting replaced might actually be an even bigger point that these VAs should be worried about, because Kaylee never made the claim that she stepped down willingly. It looks because of all the backlash that Kaylee got, which was completely justified for her terrible actions and her non-apology.
Right. So Kaylee Mills had a lot of really problematic tweets come out. For those of you that don't follow the Genshin voice actor drama, which I don't blame you. I usually just watch this guy and get my news from him because it's a lot easier to digest. Just like I watch Stephen Colbert for the daily news because I can't stand watching the regular news because sometimes they'll show the president and I just want to throw something at the screen, you know? But so
that she actually got replaced. That's what it looks like. That Hoyoverse stepped in and replaced Kaylee Mills. And again, like, we could think that they also probably did replace Karina.
Yeah.
But as for VAs taking a lesson from all of this, it depends on how they interpret Karina's message, if they believe it or not. And actually, mid-recording, Kaylee Mills just posted this statement in real time. Let's take a look at
this is good.
What she has to say. Last week, I was informed that I would be recast as Kaching due to the production schedule.
More like the fact that you wouldn't cooperate with the production schedule, but I digress, you know.
Yeah, the production schedule, huh? Right. She says, I know people will speculate, but this is the official sole reason I was given.
Oh, right.
I made it very clear that I was absolutely willing and enthusiastic to return at any point if AI protections could be provided, regardless.
The AI thing is getting too long in the tooth. So basically, the excuse that they gave for the collective work refusal for Hoyoverse was because they wanted to ensure AI protections. But like I said, what actually came out was there were no AI protection concerns because Hoyoverse actually already has AI protections in their own contract, like in the contract that they've already signed. What they want is, like I said, for the project to go from non-union to union. That way they can get more benefits while still working on the game. So it's just a whole lot of, honestly, a lot of BS with this whole thing. It's just awful.
Of union status. So it could very well be true that Hoyoverse did say this was just for production schedule purposes. If I recall, I think they actually used that in the past for replacing people. It's kind of like a default sort of thing. Like, I think they're also like trying to be polite about it. Like breaking that down.
Well, I mean, it's an Asian company, and Asian companies are often more polite about why they let you go, rather than us Westerners and the Western companies going, yeah, you're a crap worker, we're getting rid of you, you know? I mean, not that wouldn't be unwarranted for people to tell, like, someone like Kaylee Mills or Karina, but, you know, it is what it is.
Obviously, the implication would be that with her withholding to work and messing up the production schedule, they got to replace her.
Oh yeah.
You could break that down in various ways, but that's essentially
Right.
like how TLDR, I suppose, in my opinion. She says, "That is all I asked for. It is unfortunate such protections could not be secured for me and my castmates. I sincerely hope that changes in the future. Voicing
get
Kaching has
off
been
of
one
it.
of the greatest journeys of my life. I will always treasure it, from bonding with castmates over our love of working on the story. You guys love it so much that you just refuse to work for months and disparage the company that hired you and created the story to begin with."
Right? I mean, come on. Oh, sir, I loved the job, but when I didn't get my way, I quit for months on end and made the company have to suffer because of it. You know, because then, there for like the first few months, everyone thought it was that the company was being bad, and then it turns out that the voice actors are the ones that are in the wrong, and the company was just doing what they had to do. So yeah, I hate to say it, but you you didn't really like it that much if you weren't willing to work on it.
Particularly, Karina is most guilty of the disparaging stuff.
Yeah.
Getting to meet passionate fans and see the creativity the story has inspired, getting to work on an official fan song and sing as Kaching, getting to explore more of her character in Moonchase Festival, getting to return in Lantern Rite each year, even the sessions where I had to redo a line 20 times to get the pronunciation of Leeway right.
Really? You couldn't pronunciate Leo? Leo? Yeah. All right. Fair enough. I'm a European. I'm a Westerner. I can't say it either.
I cherish every memory, and I will carry each one with me for the rest of my life. I am deeply sorry we could not complete that journey together. Yesterday's experiences make me stronger today, and most of those experiences are ones that I share with you. Thank you for everything, Kaching. So 2 days ago on Blue Sky, Kaylee Mills did also say similarly about her withholding specifically for ad protection. Specifically, this set of posts on Blue Sky that read, "Actors may all be withholding for their own reasons. Mine is simply that I do not want to work with AI protections in my contract. I did not ask for the game to go union. Some people will not work without the protection of a union contract, though, which I think is incredibly fair, too." So, that's a pretty huge difference. Why are you guys striking together if some of you guys just want AI protections in the contract and the rest want the whole game to go union? Because that massively changes the context of what may happen to the game.
Right. I mean, if you don't care if the game goes union or not, but you're striking with the people that want to go union, then you're sending the message to Hoyoverse that all of you want the game to go union, when really all you want is AI protections for your role and your work. So, it makes no sense. It makes no sense why people would be this way. I mean, anyway, we're getting off track.
So basically the point I'm getting at is skill issue on y'all's part. Hey, I just want this one in the contract. Let's strike with all these other people who are trying to fundamentally change the entire structure of the business that applies to the specific project being worked on, which would be Genshin Impact or Hoyoverse games at large. Now, I question why they would strike together a bit rhetorically. Obviously, 2 quick reasons we could summarize is, 1, they thought it would further empower them, like more collectivity, and 2, a lot of them are in the same clique anyways, so they want to stand in solidarity together. Like, I get it, of course, like what they're trying to do here, but my point still stands that, like, the whole thing has been rather absurd to begin with, and all of this also hinges on if you believe these claims anyways. When I see a VA saying, "Oh, I didn't want to go union, I just wanted this specific thing in the contract," to me, when they're, like, again, a part of the same strike, I'm not even really, like, compelled to believe that claim anyways.
Right? I mean, if you're part of the same group, why would you have different goals in that same group? But, I'm just one man. I'm just one person. I don't know what goes on in the working world when it comes to, like, VAs and stuff. I wish I could be a VA, but I mean, I've got a face for voice, and I've got a face for radio and a voice for print. So between the two, I'm pretty much
That just seems like trying to save face. Like, "Oh, I didn't want to go union. I just took part in the efforts to get the game unionized." Okay, sure. On top of that skepticism, though, you got to understand that these VAs have also been caught in so many lies. So it's not even just that. It's also that these people have already been proven to be extremely untrustworthy and manipulative, on top of everything else I just said. Well,
there we go. Untrustworthy instead of Hey, never change.
Just my opinion, though. Ultimately, what we do know is that Kaylee Mills is no longer Kaching in Genshin Impact. She is still rapping in DK. So,
Haha.
beware, Nikkei fandom. Suddenly, you might have Kaylee Mills really talking about how much she loves Rappy. Did you know this is her favorite character of all the characters she's voiced? And did you know how much she loves the Nikkei fandom, guys? This is the best fandom out there, the Nikkei fandom. Do you guys remember when she was
Oh,
mentioned on
sir,
that special announcement
Nikkei.
live stream for Nikkei? And then everyone in the responses, okay, not everyone, but it was like, from what I saw, 90% plus comments were just like, ew, boo, recast, fire Rappy, a bunch of comments like that in the live chat. And then I
Right.
think it was within 48 hours, according to my recollection, after that mess, after she got called out, that she then posted that apology on Twitter, which was like a complete non-apology.
Oh, yeah,
that didn't go
sure.
out at all. And now that her attention is not split between Genshin and Nikkei, she's probably going to direct all that fake energy towards Nikkei. So hey, watch out for that. But yeah,
Right.
there for today, guys. I really just wanted to take a look at
My
Lena
goodness.
and Kaylee's socials to see if they had any official statements about the recast news. Alas, we saw that Trina did not have an official statement, and instead is just reposting a bunch of nonsense. We did, however,
Yeah.
get that official response from Kaylee Mills, though, mid-recording, so that timing worked out nicely. Let me know what you think about all this stuff in the comments. As always, thank you for tuning in. If you enjoyed my coverage, please also consider liking and or subscribing to the channel. Appreciate you, and I'll see you in the next one.
Alrighty then. Yeah. Okay, so we had a pretty interesting sorry, let me well, I guess it's all right. So, that was a pretty interesting video. We see what happens when you refuse to work, you know? Oh, yeah. Let's not go there. Yeah. Now I know that some of the VAs in Genshin are a bit crazy, to say the least. Oh, yeah. Definitely crazy. Definitely something else. I'll tell you what, I do not like the fact that we are so quickly going down the road of just having this, I don't know, this almost default position that if you're in any kind of work that's public facing, you have to have an opinion about basically any particular political thing that goes on. Like, really? Seriously? Am I expected to, as a VTuber, have an opinion on the war in Israel, or about Palestine, or about Iran, or about the protests here in America, whatever? Because I'll tell you what, I don't care. I just want to be here and entertain you guys and have fun and play games and smile and sing and whatever else. And I don't really give a darn about what is going on in the world at large, because that's not what my content's focused on. It's not. And I know some of you will be like, oh, well, Gregory, that's harsh. Yeah, okay. But counterpoint, is it necessary to always interject your opinion into everything? No, I don't think so. No, I do not think so. So, but that's just my opinion. That's just my thoughts. You know, you can say whatever you want. You can believe whatever you want. I'm just doing what I can to entertain. So, alrighty. Well, with that, that's the end of this video for you guys over on YouTube, and we'll continue on with our live stream here on YouTube and on other platforms.